Roman Reigns' shocking return with Zilla Fatu at WWE SmackDown. WWE tried to hide this from you. Roman Reigns' shocking return to SmackDown with Zilla Fatu wasn't just another wrestling surprise, it was a nuclear bomb that's going to completely destroy the current power structure and reshape WWE forever. What the tribal chief revealed about his alliance with Umaga's son is so explosive that it's already caused panic backstage and forced Triple H to make emergency changes to months of carefully planned storylines. When you find out what Roman and Zilla are really planning for WWE's future, you're going to be absolutely stunned at how deep this conspiracy goes. The sight of Roman Reigns walking down that ramp with Zilla Fatu by his side wasn't just a surprise return, it was a declaration of war against everyone who thought the bloodline was finished and that Roman's time at the top was over. The crowd's reaction was absolutely electric, but what they didn't realize was that they were witnessing the formation of the most dangerous alliance in wrestling history, one that's going to make Roman's previous dominance look like child's play compared to what's coming next. Security footage from backstage shows WWE officials in complete chaos when they realized Roman had returned without authorization and brought reinforcements that management hadn't approved or even known about. The panic in Triple H's voice when he was told about the surprise appearance could be heard throughout the executive offices, and the emergency meetings that followed lasted until the early morning hours as WWE tried to figure out how to handle this unexpected power play. But here's what's going to make your blood boil with excitement and terror: Roman's return with Zilla wasn't spontaneous or emotional. This was a calculated strategic move that had been planned for months while everyone assumed the tribal chief was taking time off to reflect on his losses and diminished status. Instead, he was recruiting the next generation of Anoa'i family dominance and preparing to reclaim his throne with unprecedented force and determination. Zilla Fatu's presence alongside Roman represents something that WWE management is absolutely terrified of: the possibility that the bloodline's power was never truly broken, just temporarily reorganized with new players who are hungrier, more dangerous, and completely uninterested in playing by the corporate rules that constrained previous generations of their family dynasty. The most shocking revelation came when Roman grabbed the microphone and announced that his time away from WWE hadn't been spent healing or soul-searching, it had been spent training Zilla and other family members who were ready to finish what the bloodline started and complete the conquest that was always our destiny. The implications of these words sent shockwaves through the entire wrestling industry. You thought getting rid of me would solve your problems, but you just made them worse. Roman's opening statement was delivered with such cold confidence that it made everyone in the arena understand they weren't just witnessing a return, they were seeing the beginning of a new era of dominance that would make his previous championship reigns look merciful by comparison. But Roman's psychological warfare was just getting started. He revealed that during his absence, he had been studying every wrestler who had tried to fill the power vacuum left by his departure, identifying their weaknesses and developing strategies to systematically destroy each one of them. The methodical nature of his planning suggested that his return wasn't just about reclaiming his position, it was about total domination and revenge. Zilla Fatu's introduction to the WWE Universe was equally devastating and designed to establish him as a legitimate threat rather than just another family member riding on the bloodline's reputation. His physical presence and natural charisma immediately commanded attention, but it was his brief comments about earning respect through destruction rather than asking for it politely that revealed the violent intentions behind this new alliance. The backstage reaction to Zilla's debut was reportedly intense, with several wrestlers expressing genuine concern about having to compete against someone with his combination of size, athleticism, and family training in legitimate combat techniques. Unlike previous bloodline members who had to develop their skills within WWE's system, Zilla arrived already possessing the tools to be an immediate threat to anyone on the roster. What makes this return so much more terrifying for WWE's current main event scene is how Roman and Zilla's partnership represents a perfect blend of veteran cunning and youthful aggression. Roman's years of experience manipulating WWE's political landscape combined with Zilla's raw hunger for success creates a dynamic that could prove impossible for current champions to overcome through traditional means. The timing of this return couldn't have been more devastating for wrestlers who thought they had finally escaped Roman's shadow and established their own identities as main event talents. Just when stars like Cody Rhodes, Seth Rollins, and others were beginning to feel secure in their positions, the tribal chief returned with reinforcements that could instantly destabilize everything they had worked to build. Industry insiders are calling this one of the most shocking returns in WWE history because it wasn't just Roman coming back, it was Roman coming back stronger and more dangerous than ever before, with family support that suggests the bloodline's dominance was never actually threatened, just temporarily delayed while they regrouped and recruited new members. The financial implications for WWE are absolutely massive, as Roman's return immediately changes the entire landscape of their programming and merchandising strategies. His previous runs generated hundreds of millions in revenue, but this new partnership with Zilla could potentially create even more lucrative opportunities if they can capture the audience's imagination with their family legacy storyline. WWE's creative team is reportedly scrambling to completely restructure their upcoming storylines to accommodate this unexpected power shift. Months of carefully planned character development for other wrestlers may have to be scrapped or dramatically altered to account for Roman and Zilla's presence and their apparent intention to dominate every aspect of WWE programming. The psychological impact on current WWE champions and contenders is reportedly severe, as many wrestlers are questioning whether their recent successes were only possible because Roman wasn't around to prevent them. The realization that their accomplishments might be viewed as illegitimate or temporary has created doubt and insecurity throughout the locker room. But the most explosive aspect of this return is what it suggests about Roman's long-term plans for WWE and his family's legacy within the company. His comments about completing the conquest imply that his previous championship reigns were just the beginning of a larger strategy to establish permanent Anoa'i family control over WWE's main event scene for generations to come. Zilla's natural abilities and family training suggest that he could be positioned as Roman's eventual successor, creating a dynasty that extends far beyond any individual performer's career. The possibility of decades of bloodline dominance has reportedly caused serious concern among WWE executives who prefer to maintain flexibility in their long-term planning. The crowd's reaction to this surprise return was overwhelmingly positive, but many fans don't yet understand the full implications of what they witnessed. The combination of nostalgia for Roman's previous dominance and excitement about new family members could create unprecedented audience engagement, but it could also lead to fatigue if the bloodline becomes too dominant too quickly. Other wrestlers on the roster are reportedly divided in their reactions, with some expressing excitement about working with Roman and Zilla while others are concerned about reduced opportunities and screen time if the bloodline once again becomes the focal point of all WWE programming. The political implications within the locker room could create tension that affects the quality of television production. The international wrestling community is taking notice of this development as a potential game-changer that could influence how other promotions approach family-based storylines and multi-generational character development. Roman and Zilla's partnership could set new standards for how wrestling dynasties are presented and marketed to global audiences. Social media reaction has been explosive, with wrestling fans expressing everything from excitement to concern about the bloodline's return to prominence. The polarized response suggests that Roman and Zilla's alliance will generate the kind of passionate fan engagement that drives television ratings and pay-per-view purchases, regardless of whether the reaction is positive or negative. The long-term booking possibilities created by this return are virtually unlimited, as Roman and Zilla's partnership could lead to storylines involving every major championship, faction warfare, and multi-generational conflicts that span years of programming. WWE's creative team now has access to storytelling opportunities that didn't exist before this shocking alliance was formed. Quick question for the comments: do you think Zilla Fatu has what it takes to live up to the bloodline legacy, or is he just riding on his family's reputation? Let me know your thoughts below. And here's another one: should WWE fans be excited or worried about Roman Reigns returning with even more family support? Drop your honest opinion in the comments.